Imagine coming into your shift and you're already talking shit, or you're already talking bad about yourself, that you can't do this. It would reflect on yourself. So instead of thinking about negativity and thinking about you're not prepared as a nurse or you don't know anything, try to think that you're a great nurse. Hi lovelies, good morning. It's been a while. So anyway, to give you a little update, I have been really busy at work, and I have been a nurse for 8 months now. Like, it sounds so surreal. Like, it seems so surreal because, like, before I used to be like really anxious and scared about coming into work, and overthink about a lot of things, that what might gonna happen during my shift. And it took me a while to create a routine for me that would be able to help me with my pre-shift anxiety, which is real, to be honest. Like, not only like being a new nurse, but I have talked to some of my workmates that have been a nurse for a really long time. Like, even though they've been a nurse for a really long time, they still kind of feel or experience this pre-shift anxiety. So working as a nurse, there's so many things that could happen. It's not always the same every day. So of course, you're gonna be able to think or overthink a lot of things. Like, especially in my case, being a new nurse, like, you really cannot avoid doing, or you really can't avoid overthinking. Anyway, so these are the tips or the things that really help me on how to manage my pre-shift anxiety. So we're going to talk about that today, since I'm still a baby nurse, but I really think that I have grown a lot. So it's been 8 months now, and I could really look back on my progress, which is amazing. And I never thought that I would last to be honest. Like, working as a nurse and I graduated in the Philippines, no experience. And my only experience that I brought here in the US was my clinical experience, which is, more than 10 years ago. And to be honest, it is really hard for me to come here and work as a nurse. That time, I always think that I am dumb and I really don't know anything. I always look down on myself, and that's making me more anxious. Imagine coming into your shift and you're already talking shit, or you're already talking bad about yourself, that you can't do this. It would reflect on yourself. So instead of thinking about negativity and thinking about you're not prepared as a nurse or you don't know anything, try to think that you're a great nurse. But anyway, we will dive in details to that, on how I positive talk to myself. But first thing, let's talk about the first thing that helped me and how I manage my pre-shift anxiety. So number one, make sure to create a routine so that you will have the right headspace prior to your next shift. Let's say I usually prepare myself the night before coming to my shift. For example, I do a little bit of routine, let's say prepping my meals. You don't really have to prep all your meals every time. Most of the time I only work 3 days in a row. So there are times that I could just, prepare 2 or those 2 shifts, and then I might just get something at our cafeteria. But there are type of people that they do their meal prep. But in my case, it depends really on what I really like to eat. There are times I will be able to prep. There are times that I will be able to do a meal prepping for my 3 shift. There are times that I could only do for at least 1 shift or 2 shift. It really depends on how I feel. But anyway, make a routine that is convenient for you. And it's also very important that you also pre-packed healthy snacks. Like my usual snacks is, that I like to bring is yogurt with some granola and some blueberry. So at least you have like some protein and it's not too heavy. And also I like to pack something like what do you call this, oatmeal, and just sprinkle it with a little bit of honey or some cinnamon, and then when I get into work I will just put some hot water, and that will be like a breakfast for me. Or sometimes I even eat that in the middle of the afternoon. So you know, when you get too busy, I would like to eat some oatmeal. Alright, aside from that is create a morning routine. Like, I don't know if you're a morning person. I don't know what type of nurse are you. Are you like a type of person that once you get up, you're just gonna get ready and go? Like, that's not me at all. Like, what I usually do is I wake up 4:30 in the morning, and then I like to take things slow. Like, I really love enjoying my mornings slowly, because that actually prepare me mentally. Because if I'm gonna just wake up 30 minutes before and then I gotta boom boom boom, like, you know, get dressed, wash my face and just go, absolutely I'm not gonna be having a great shift. Like, I'm not that type of person. So, but if that is your personality, then you could do that instead. But for some type of people, or for some type of nurses that are like me, that likes to wake up in the morning and take things slow, you know, like I like to wake up 4:30 in the morning, as early as I can. That's my usual alarm clock. Like, my latest that I would really get up is like around 4:55, but I like to set my alarm at 4:30. Oh shoot, this is so, I almost cut myself. Ugh. But anyway, and then I like to like make myself a cup of coffee. My usual coffee is espresso, and there are times that I like to eat breakfast. Like, it really depends, because sometimes I wake up so hungry, and there are times also that I wake up feeling bloated and full. So it really depends, but I prefer to eat before I go to work, even though it sounds so crazy because it's early in the morning. But it is very convenient, because I mean, as I come into my shift, I don't really have to think about what to eat and that I'm really hungry, because I really couldn't function if I am hungry. I don't know if you're like that, but that's me. So I try, most of the time I eat before going to work. And you know, my usual breakfast is like, it depends, like egg, avocado, bagel or some toast, like things like that. And aside from eating breakfast, so probably around 5 o'clock I'm already eating my breakfast, having my coffee, and just sat down at a dining table and just watch some YouTube. Sometimes I just sit there in silence, just because, you know, I kind of want to clear my head and preparing myself mentally prior to going to work. So let's say I'm gonna give myself like 20 minutes for me to just sit down and relax before going to the bathroom and what do you call this, do my skincare. Before that, actually, so I usually take my showers the night before. So I do an everything shower. So I wash my hair and do my showers, so that the next day, like during my morning routine, I don't really have to take a shower, because I don't have time, because I like to sit at the dining table in silence and just clear my mind. So once I'm done with my breakfast, I go to the bathroom and do my business, like do my skincare, using the toilet, you know, fix my hair. Maybe it depends if I really like to fix my hair. Most of the time I don't really fix my hair, but it feels so good when you fix your hair though. Like, it makes you really up and ready to go to work. It makes you more energetic to go to work. So I advise you to fix your hair if you can. Alright guys, just in time. It's 5:50 in the morning now, so I'm almost ready. I really have to leave. I really didn't do anything with my hair, just a regular, you know, I just tied up my hair like this as usual. I nothing really crazy preparation in the morning. I don't even, I mean, once in a while I put some makeup, but most of the time, no. I don't know why. I'm just not a makeup girly. So, with my chapstick, I'm good to go. Run me some rosary, keep me safe, keeping my patients safe. It's my eye drops because it gets really dry. That's my handy thing. Anything else? No, nothing really. And I am ready to go, guys. So I'll see you later. But there are times that we just feel so lazy, to be honest, and there are times that I don't really feel like fixing my hair, and I just do the usual bun or just to put a hair clip, and I'm done. So aside from once I'm done with my morning with my skincare, also try to fix your bed if you can, because to me, seeing my bed well put up, it kind of makes me like, I don't know, it kind of clears my mind to say it. It's kind of weird, but it seems so. If my home is organized, if my bed is really well put up, it just relaxes me. I don't know if you're like that, but it's very relaxing. I also put my lunchbox all together so that I could just grab and go. So let's say I'm already set to go around 5:55. So that's the time that I'm gonna leave. Like max, there are times that I'm gonna leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I prefer to leave at 5:55 because it gives me more time to sit at the parking lot. So 5:55, so I have to leave at that time. So the second thing that I advise you guys on managing your pre-shift anxiety is when you leave. Like as I've told you, I like to leave around 6:55. So another advice that I could give you is basically prayer. Like I like to pray on my way to work. Let's say I listen to a podcast, like a rosary podcast. I like to do my rosary while I'm driving, and if I'm done doing my prayers or my rosary, I actually listen to different nursing podcasts. And my favorite podcast that I really love to listen, because they're very entertaining. Aside from being entertaining, you could learn a lot of things through their experience, because they've been a nurse for a while, and I don't know, they're just very entertaining to listen to. So these are the top two nursing podcasts that I like to listen. It's Fresh RN and Rapid Response Nurse. So I'm gonna link it to you guys, or I'm gonna put it here so you could try and search them up and listen to them while you're driving. So how I listen to them is like, for example, I had this experience, or I had this experience during my shift, and I kind of want to dig deep, kind of want to dive in deeper and want to learn about that experience. So I'm gonna try and search in Spotify specifically on those two nursing podcasts that I mentioned. So for example, I had this experience that my patient's heart rate was spiking up to 180s to 200s, and her blood pressure dropped down. So it was like, let's say 70s over 50s, I believe, and 80s over 60s. So I didn't call rapid response, but I was able to call the attending physician. So she was at the bathroom at that time, or the tech was basically helping her to use the bedside commode, and suddenly my tech just yell and call for help. And then when I saw that patient, she was so pale, and I managed to call the tech to get the vitals machine. So we were able to get the vitals, and at the same time, the person that are monitoring the telemetry monitor kind of called the nurse's station to let us know that the heart rate was spiking up to 180s to 200. So it was so quick. So when I checked the blood pressure was really low. So I called the attending physician. So we were able to put the patient back to bed, and doctor ordered a bolus of normal saline, and also we did We did a Trendelenburg position and just tried to monitor the vital signs or try to monitor the blood pressure of the patient. So we were able to respond and manage that problem really quick. So the reason why I'm talking to you about this experience, because this is the time that you would search on a podcast and try to listen and learn more about the situation that you had experienced. So at that moment, like the next day on my way to work, I tried to search on Spotify about vasovagal syncope, and then it kind of, I believe that, that situation or the experience of the patient actually have a variety of costs, but I really think that it's a vasovagal syncope because she was about to faint, although we were able to manage it really quick. So that's the time that I try to search some certain topics and learn more about how to manage it the next time. So yeah, if you're driving like in my case, I drive like 40 minutes on my way to work, and I just don't want to waste it. Like I want to keep on learning. So that's why I try to listen to nurses' podcasts, because I could, at least learn and comprehend and use their experience or their advice if I will encounter that same situation. But anyway, it's not all the time that I like to listen to podcasts. There are also times that I like to listen to some playlist or music that I like. I mean, whatever music or whatever type of music that you like that relaxes you on the way to work. I really think it's a good thing to do on your way to work to just release your anxiety and not think about your shift. All right, so number three for me is like try to do some positive self-talk. Like, yes, definitely you need to do this. I used to tell myself that I am really dumb and I really don't know anything, and I feel like I'm really slow. I don't feel like a great nurse because I don't know these things, or I don't know what to do. Like, I used to be like that. If you keep on telling yourself these things, it would actually reflect on yourself, and the more that you will not be able to function as a good nurse. So instead of saying those negative stuff to yourself, I think you have to try to turn things or look at things in a more positive way. Like in my case, like as soon as I got to work, because I like to leave early and then I want to be at work as early as I could. So let's say I try to spend let's say I'm in a parking lot now and I already arrived at the hospital. I like to sit at the hospital. I like to sit at the parking lot, just probably like in a complete silence for about 5 minutes if I have time, and if I have more time I even sit there for like 10 minutes or so. So basically I've already done my rosary on my way to work, but while I'm sitting I could still pray. Like I would ask God for help, that I would be able to provide the care that my patients deserve, and for him to use me as an instrument to serve no harm to my patients. So I always tell that, and I always tell myself how great I am as a nurse, and I have he gave me this role. While you're sitting in a car, it's also like a great time for you to reflect on why you become a nurse and what you brought you into this role and what's your purpose. It's not just like because you're gonna pay your bills, you're there to work. I feel like when you go to work in that situation and you just tell yourself, I'm just here to work, I feel like it's not gonna help at all. So you have to realize why you are there at work. Let's say for me, in my case, aside from just paying bills, of course we have to pay the bills, but instead of saying that or thinking about that, basically you are there to think about what are the great impact that you could provide to your patients' lives. So I think that's a really good thing to think about. Also, before I go to work, like as before I just get out at the hospital, I always tell myself that I am a great nurse, I'm an awesome nurse, I am compassionate, I am there to take care of my patients, and I am adequately prepared to take care of my patients, and I will be able to, you know, like smash it. You know, that's like a positive talk for me. And I always like to go to work like smiling all the time, like greeting people, like I don't know, it's just me. It's probably like my personality. I'm not really like a morning person. I don't like to have a conversation early in the morning, but I do like to greet people, at least saying hi or, you know, have a good day. Like I feel like it's a good thing to start, and it actually relieves my anxiety, like not to think too much about what's gonna happen during this shift. All right, number 4. This is the very most important thing. So whenever you come to work, always have like a learning mindset. Like, you know, you could be a nurse for like 20 years, but you wouldn't be knowing everything. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, in my case, I am like a baby nurse. I'm very new and I'm a fresh nurse, like not even a fresh graduate. So of course, I don't have a lot of experience, but I passed the Nclex, and I have been a CNA, and you know, I know what I'm doing. But at the same time, even though you know what you're doing and you know a certain stuff, there are always things that you would never know what it is. Like, you know, something new to you, especially if you're from a different country. It's a little bit different from where you're at, from, you know, from which country you are from, and then from here in the US probably. Don't quote me on that because I don't really have an experience working as a nurse in the Philippines, but I really think there's a difference still. Yeah, so always come at work with a learning mindset. Like, you are there to learn all the time. And instead of like saying like I don't know anything, just embrace it that you really don't know it, but you are there to learn. For example, you may not know what to do on your first code. God forbid, I don't really have that yet with my patients, but I was able to assist with a nurse that had her first code as well. So I don't know what to do, but I was there to learn. So because I'm a nurse, at least all I could offer during that code was to do some compressions. You know, I'm a fresh nurse, so I'm good at compressions, and I really think that being there in that situation, I will be able to at least know the flow on what the people or what the healthcare does or what the nurses does and the doctor does during a code blue. You know what I mean? So have a learning mindset. Aside from that, also, for example, there are some procedures that you are not really familiar with. So what I like to look at my try to check on my patient's chart on what type of procedures that they're gonna do during the day. So for example, I'm not familiar with a procedure, I'm gonna try to Google it a little bit and, you know, have to review a little bit on what am I going to do, what am I expecting to do during that procedure. And aside from just Googling it or do some research, the easiest way is to actually ask questions to your coworkers. Like if your preceptor or if your previous preceptor is working during that day, that they may be the best person that you could ask for, because they're there, they're mentoring you. And I think it's really awesome also to have a great support system at work, because at least you could ask them a lot of questions and they're there to answer your questions and help you learn even more. So I am so lucky that I have a great working environment that I could always ask. Like if my coworkers if the nurses are not available, I actually go directly to my manager, like to our nurse manager or to our charge nurse or even to our house supervisor if I'm not familiar with a thing and I want to learn from them. Like I will tell them like, hey, I know, you know what, I have a patient that have a wound vac. It's been a hot minute having a patient with a wound vac, and I kind of want to go through about it on how to operate it, on how, what are the important things that I need to do with a patient who has a wound vac, or let's say with a chest tube, stuff like that. Like if you're not familiar with, I really don't like the saying fake it till you make it, because it seems like you don't know what you are doing. But instead of saying that, I just want to be there to have a learning mindset instead. Like, I don't know it, I know about it, but it's just my experience is lacking and I want to learn more about it. I think it's easier that way because you're still confident because you know about this. However, you're just not, like, I feel like it's good that way because you're my dog is just so mean. I feel like it's just good that way because you're basically there to, you're there, your mindset is to keep your patients safe all the time because you are willing to learn. And if you don't know a thing, you are, you should ask your coworker. And I really think that having a really great support system could also ease your pre-shift anxiety. So yeah, having a learning mindset is really cool. Like, I'm there, I'm here to work, and I want to learn, and I want to keep my patients safe. All right, last, number 5. So, all right, you had a really busy shift. It's been a crazy day. You have, let's say, 3 discharge, and then you had 3 admission came. You had patients that are declining, you have a lot of patients that are complaining, yada yada yada, interruptions, families who would like to discuss about the patient's condition, lab reports that are critical, vital signs that are turning down, patients are declining, stuff. There's so many stuff, phone calls, procedures about your patient. Usually I have like 5 to 6 patients. That's what our medsurg is, a crazy floor. It's a busy floor. So of course your 12 shift, you're gonna be running around. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna talk to you guys about how I manage my time, and I learn it by myself. There's a lot of ways that I did that, but I'm gonna talk about that in a different video. But anyway, after a long shift, something that could help you function the next day to avoid pre-shift anxiety is winding down. Winding down is very good. Like, let's say you ended your shift, you already handed your report to the next nurse, and then you're about to go home and you're about to clock out and go home. Winding down is the best thing to do. Let's say you either sit in your car in silence, driving in your car in silence, or just blasting yourself with the music. Either or. For me, that's how I wind down. Most of the time though, I blast myself with the music because I like to listen a lot of music. I don't know why. It's a great way for me to wind down and forget about what happened during the day. I like to forget about what happened during the day and not bring my stress at home. You know what I mean? And think about that the next day. Like, as soon as I start my shift, like, okay, yesterday I had this and I want to try to learn about it and listen to a podcast. But on my way home, I try to forget about my shift. I don't know why. It's just, I feel like it's the best thing to do. So at least you'll have a relaxing time when you get home. So that's how I wind down. So aside from that, when I arrived home, I like to talk with my husband if he's still awake and eat my dinner and have a great everything shower. Everything shower is really good. So you would not, it's a great way for you to relax, And if you could sleep early, I think I'm still working on that because there's times that I like to sleep late because I kind of want to use my phone for a little bit, and that's one way of me to relieve my stress because at work, to be honest, I don't really like to be on my phone. Like, I'm a kind of a nurse that I'm always on the go and I like to be busy at all times. Like, I don't have time to be on my phone unless like important stuff, like I have to message my husband, something's going on, my stepson's school and stuff like that, like family stuff, or I have to do some appointment with doctor's appointment and stuff like that. So that's the only time I use my phone. But there's really, for me, if it's a slowdown at work, I just like to round take rounds and check my patients and, you know, do some charting. That's what I do. So when I get home, I try to play on my phone just to wind down and probably watch some movies a little bit, and finally sleep around 10:30. And also don't forget something. Don't forget to drink your magnesium and melatonin, because it would help you. You will thank me. You'll have a great sleep and wake up great the next day. I hope whatever I'm talking about or what I'm blubbering about pre-shift anxiety helps you guys. If you have other advice that you think that could help with pre-shift or managing pre-shift anxiety, comment down below in the description box. And the next time I might gonna talk about my routine as a med-surg nurse, or either or how I manage my time working in a 12-hour shift as a day shift nurse. So anyways guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.